Good afternoon, Computer Literacy Summer 2025 midterm students. Welcome to another exciting episode of Touring Brightspace, the $2 tour. In this video, I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about the hands-on portion of the class, which will begin around week 3. This will include working with practical applications such as Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and a little bit of exposure to Access. So what you will be doing in that part of this part of the course is there are basically 3 projects per software application. So for example, 3 projects in Word, 3 projects in Excel, 3 projects in PowerPoint, and then I have a training for Access. Now the reason we do a training with Access, meaning there are no exams, there are no projects. You would just follow along with a couple videos to show you how to work certain features in Access and then just submit those. The reason being is Microsoft has never made Access for the Mac or Apple products. Never has, probably never will. Therefore, since a number of students are working with Macs, this would be part of the course you couldn't even do unless you had a friend who had a laptop that was a PC. And so, yeah, you would probably be out of luck with that. So I decided a while back that no projects, no exams, just a training. So this is the only one where trainings are required, or a training, I should say. So let's jump into how you would set up and work with a hands-on project and go from there. So obviously, you dive into the course home. First place you go by knee-jerk is content. That will bring up all the modules then once it's loaded in. And so let's jump down to week 3 for this semester. And you'll notice that there are 3 submodules within this submodule right here. And let's just go ahead and click on Word Chapter 1, creating a modified flyer. This would be the first project in Microsoft Word that you would encounter for your hands-on portion of the class. There is a PowerPoint that you could click on. It basically kind of walks you through what to expect with the assignment. It tries to help you with the project. It's a little lacking in the fact that it's not as detailed as if you were to come down here and click on the link to the textbook, which then gives you all of the instructions to how to complete the project. And so it's loading up MindTap as we speak, and it's going to take you to that particular chapter in the book, possibly where you left off last, which is interesting to me how it knows. So I may not be right at page 1. Well, go figure. Here I have Word Module 1. What is Word? The introduction, and you could just click through, and eventually you would get to the instructions. There's always, when the project first starts out, here's an example of what the project should look like when it's completed, and the instructions there. So if you see a scroll bar on the side, that means there's more down at the bottom that's being hidden. So just always keep an eye on that. See, like you see here, there's a lot more there. And so it gives you the step-by-step instructions on how to complete the project. Now, interesting to note, we get back to using the breadcrumb to get back to the lesson. What we also have available is that this is a picture that you'll download and use in that project, but I'm going to show you another method here in just a moment. The nice thing is we also have an accompanying video of one of our instructors, Dr. Gary Jones, who does this project step by step, and you can call it up on the video and watch exactly what he does. Sometimes people find this way more helpful than the instructions from the text as far as that goes. So that is an option that is available to you. And here is where you would come back, or initially this is where you start, and then you come back to this later on if you are working on the project. And you can say, it says right here, this activity is worth 100 points. I may have failed to express that in the last video. Wherever you see this activity is worth, something, that means that's the one you do. That's what's going to add points to your grade. That's where the rubber meets the road. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on this link. I'm not going to click on the video, but that would, again, that is Dr. Jones, being very helpful, going through step-by-step the projects. And he does this for all of them, which is really nice. So this is launching into the textbook. I'm sorry, into the assignment itself. So there are a couple things here. It tells you that you have up to 5 times to submit this project. I think I have submitted it 3 times. I might have 2 or 3 left. So where you started, you come over and click the start button. Now, again, the instructor's version may look a little bit different than the student's. I think mine is side by side, where the student version is top down. So that might throw you a little bit. But first and foremost, first thing you want is to download the files to get started. In this particular case, there are a couple things. There's a blank Word document that you would download and get started. The other was the picture you just saw on Brightspace. Well, they have it here as well, because you're going to add an image to this flyer. And there's also the instructions as well. So what you just saw a little while ago when I clicked on the textbook link, well, it's also here as well. So you can do each one of these individually, which I will do, or you could download them all at once. This becomes really important or easy or crucial, for lack of a better word, when we get to PowerPoint, because there might be 6 images that instead of downloading them one at a time, you would download them all at once, and you could do that. But I'm going to go ahead and download these one at a time. You can see that it's downloaded to my downloads folder. There's the washing of the hands. It gets downloaded as well. And then if I click on this one, it's actually going to launch, almost like a mini textbook, the instructions on getting started here. And so you could use this as well, or watch the video, or a combination of both. Students have said it's actually been nice to have both of them handy. So again, this is what this is going to look like. Now, let's say you go through the project step by step, typing, changing the fonts and the format, the colors they're in, and you follow all the instructions. And now you've completed the work. And so first and foremost, let me just show you what was downloaded. So this is what you get, a blank document. Now what you just saw briefly pop up there for a moment is the finished version. So this think of this as kind of like a baking show. I have the final product, the final cake is all ready to go, to save some time. So you're going to see what it looks like. So for now, this is what you have. And there's a generic name called New Microsoft Word Document. It will have your name listed there. So I'm going to come back to this, because this is crucial and this is important. The expected file name for this project is SCWD1 wash hand slider formatted with your name. If you get one thing out of place and try to upload this, it will tell you that there's an error with uploading. It will immediately bark at you, it will turn red, or you will know that there's something wrong. 9 times out of 10, what the problem is you've mistyped the name, and because this is a long, ugly file name, it's easy to do. So here's what I do. Now I'm on a Mac, but if you're on the PC, highlight the name that's expected. Right mouse click or control click if you're on a Mac, and copy the name. Now back here, here's the file name that's already that was what was downloaded. I'm going to do a file save as. First, that's one of the first instructions that you will get. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the desktop, and I am just going to do a right mouse click or control V and say paste. And just like that, the file name as complex and as ugly as it is now right there. That was good. Done. So don't work harder, work smarter. So just do a copy of that name, paste it, do a file save as, rename it, and now you are ready to go back and follow the instructions and go from there. So starting the blank document. So now you followed through with everything. You finished the project. And so let me go to this one. And I'm going to do the same thing. Do a file save as. Name. Because I've already saved it once as my demo, notice it's wanting to replace it, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I've replaced it out, and here we go. So this is my final project. Looks pretty good. I just saved it. I go back to Sam in my tab. If I had to go all the way back and start over, I could, but let's say I'm already here. I've kept this up and running. So the next thing you want to do is submit the project. So you come over here and it says drop and drag a file here or click to browse. Either one, I'm going to click and notice I put that on the desktop so it's easy to find. Let me go to date modified. That should be first thing I see. Right here we are. I'm going to double click. It's going to upload and look, no error. So that was a good thing. And here it is listed. And then you just simply come over or you scroll down and you click submit. So it says it was submitted and successfully graded already. And here's what you want to do at this point. Now you want to see what you got, right? So you can click the graded summary report. It will download. And this is why I highly, highly recommend Google Chrome. In fact, the publishers of the textbook recommend Google Chrome. If you are a Mac user and you are using Safari, it's pretty good. They are built on the same engine. That being said, I would still use Google Chrome. So if you don't have it, download it, get the latest, greatest version, and go from there. So this was where you just see the status of the download. Click on that. I'm going to click on the file. Easy peasy. And there we go. So lo and behold, I got on my first attempt, I got a 91 out of 100, which isn't bad. But maybe if you're a perfectionist, you'd be like, oh, I want to shoot for 100%. Well, then you have 4 other times that you can up. You have a maximum of 5 times to re-upload this file for a better grade. Now, as you can go down through here, it will show you. It says to enter more text with spelling and grammar errors. It says the text, wet hands apply soap should be entered immediately after the text. How? Now, here's where, this is using an algorithm to check to make sure things are perfect. And I'm going to use this word. It's very anal, very particular. And sometimes the error messages that you will get will not make sense. I saw back in my file that indeed I had that text in here. The paragraph beginning wet hands was not found in the document. Well, if we go back and look at the document, you can see they are definitely there. Wet hands, that sentence is there. What was the other issue I had? Whoops. We jump to the right window, to my report. Number, list of paragraphs. The paragraph beginning, wet hands was not found in the document. I'll go back and forth here. Wet hands not found in the document. So it's giving me the same thing. And I'm going, well, there it is. So why is it giving me these error messages? That might throw you a little bit. This is so particular that let's take a look at the error messages that it's giving me at the bottom of the report. And it will show you if you keep scrolling down the sentence wet hands and it keeps saying, so this is why I, you know, have a 91. Each one of those things were 3 points and it's taken off a total of 9 points because of it. But if I keep going down through, it shows you basically where the issue is. Does the text what's in it should be entered immediately after the how text? Well, there it is. If for some reason the grading engine says, doesn't see it. The sentence, wet hands with clean running water and apply soap was not found in the document. Looking, it says, and apply the soap. I forgot to take the word the out of there. And so that little word is throwing that completely off a little bit. And it went all the way through the document and says, well, you didn't have this. So I'm like, a couple things going on here. So I'm like, okay, I think I figured out the issue. And you can also look at the screenshot at the beginning that they give you, because you might see, yep, there is a misspelled word there, or I forgot a period, or I added an extra word, and sometimes that's what throws it off. So that being said, I'm going to go back to the original document, and let's take out apply the soap. Just put apply soap. That was the problem, I think. I think there's another one here that says foodborne illnesses. Should just be illness. And there we go. So I'm going to do just a file save. It just overwrote my changes. Now I'm going to go back. Now this kind sometimes can get a little clunky. You can see I left this up and running. So I want to click and browse this again, but it won't let me because it thinks I'm stuck here. So what do you have to do? I can try a couple different things. I just click the refresh button and it may take me all the way back out or just refresh that screen. There have been times when I've literally gone back right from the beginning and in Brightspace and click to start over, which see just by clicking refresh, I click start again. I don't have to download anything. It's already been done. Let me click and there we are. We're back again. And so now I'm uploading it a second time. We submit. It has been resubmitted. There is even a message to resubmit the project, close this screen and return to my tab and relaunch it. I click refresh, may not have been the best thing to do, but right there, it's telling you what to do. And then I'm going to click the graded summary report and let's see. So this is my second attempt. I jump in here and give it a second to load. Ta-da! And just like that, because I had an extra word and one of the words I typed illnesses instead of just illness, and that was throwing it off. And there we go. And if I go down through and scroll to look at the report, I have no error messages listed here. And so, yay, I'm happy. I was happy with the 91. I'm even happier with the 100. And so there is the process. Once you get used to it, maybe it might baffle you the first time and it's a little clunky, but some word of advice. Let's say you're on your fourth attempt and you have an 88 and you tried to fix and figure out everything that's going on and you're still getting the same score twice over. Now you're on your fourth attempt and you're in a panic state because you've only got one attempt left and you try it again. And for whatever reason, whatever change you made, it was 88. Email me and let me know. 9 times out of 10, I can go in, take a look and go, oh, that's all it was. It's so close. And I can manually update the score for you. I just don't want you to panic over something like this because it does get very particular. And I've had students, that's been some of the biggest complaints is, you know, these projects are great, but sometimes the error messages don't make sense, or I fixed it 3 times and it still didn't work. There's probably something else going on that may not be as obvious. So just bear that in mind. Again, watching the videos, it's extremely helpful. Watch Dr. Jones as he goes through step by step and shows you what to do. And you'll be knocking these projects out in no time. So remember, week 3, we're concentrating on Microsoft Word, 3 projects. I've had students knock them all out in one day, some spread it around. That's totally up to you, your time management. But let's say we're down and we've done all 3. We've done a flyer, we've done a research paper, we've done a welcome letter using some of the graphic tools that Microsoft Word has built into it. You'll learn how to write a research paper with the research tools that Microsoft has built into it, and of course the flyer that we just did. Some pretty good stuff there. Again, Excel will operate the same way. PowerPoint will operate the same way. So we're going to go back to week 3, to the breadcrumb again, go all the way back to this module, and when I get here, notice the last module or sub-module for this week is an exam. Now this is a little bit different than the concept exams, which are multiple choice, true, false. This is actually going to give you a series of tasks that you will complete. In order to train for this, these are not required. I created a training. Whatever is in this training is identical to what is going to be on the exam. And I highly recommend, even though these trainings are not required, except for Access. Since you're not doing any projects or tasks with Access, the training is required. It's an extra easy 100 points. Just go through the training. But in this particular case, you don't have to, but I highly recommend it. So let's experiment with a training for a moment. So you launch the training. It's very much similar to the 6 that you did prior in the concept chapters. But in this particular case, it's going to test your skills that you may remember. And some of them are pretty simple. Start the Word document, launch Word, highlight some text and bold it, create a bibliography, change the header of a document. So I'm going to get a little bit more complicated as you go through. So I'm going to go ahead and click Start, and you'll see the training. And I believe in this particular case, it might be 50. It might seem like a lot of questions, but once you get rolling with this, especially in the exam, the average exam takes about 40 minutes to take. Some students require longer, some actually knock it out sooner. There is no time limit. The only thing with the exams are this. Once you start them, you cannot stop. If you do, the exam will bark at you and it'll assume you're done, and anything that you did not answer, it will mark incorrect. So once you get started, you cannot stop. But with the training, you'll see there's task 1 of 50. Now you do not have to do all of the tasks. This is why this is not required. So you can go through, for example, and you go, oh, create a new Word doc. Oh, I know how to do that. Start Word. Well, I know how to do that. Delete text. Oh, geez, I can do that in my sleep. Enter text. I'm thinking I can do that. Show and hide formatting marks. Now, I am not sure how that works. So you can click on this to help you understand what we're asking. Of course, you can resize these windows, which is what I'm doing. So you have 3 parts: observe, practice, and apply. So let's observe this.
Show formatting marks to reveal names and characters. If the paragraph next spaces, hide formatting marks. If these characters are a distraction. In the paragraph group on the Home tab, click the Show Hide Formatting Marks button. Formatting marks appear in the document. Paragraph formatting marks show the end of each paragraph, and raised dots show spaces. Click the Show Hide Formatting Marks button again. The formatting marks are now hidden.
Once that's done, and I'm not sure how well that recorded via Zoom, but once that is complete, this fine lady just showed us how to do that. Now you can practice. Now all the practice is is it will run through that video again, but then wait for you to do it, and then it'll continue, wait for you to do whatever's next. Click step by step by step. If you just want to leap over that and say, oh, that was simple, I'm just going to go ahead and click apply. It will come up, and this is what the exam will look like, by the way. The task instruction will come up, is to show formatting marks in the document, and then hide them again. Okay, I think I got this. Oh, it was this, and this, and immediately it tells you that the task was complete, and it moves you to the next task. In the actual exam, it will move you to the next question. So that is why I recommend and highly recommend that you do the trainings. Just look for the ones that you think you're questionable on, and watch the video, practice, and apply. So that is what the training is. So now the other that you will see in training and exams in that particular module is a practice exam. So the training is going to show you what's on the actual exam. The practice is practically the exam, but again, does not count toward your final grade. It will give you one, but I don't count it. Only the actual exam. This, you would click on, and it will launch what would appear to be an exam. And you'll see this is just like the apply part of the training. But there is no observation, there is no practice. This is just going to give you a task, and then you go from there. And this is all done in a simulated environment, most of which is Windows-based. So you Mac users, it's best to go through the training so you can get an idea. Yeah, it takes a second to launch. So, by the way, these questions, these tasks, give you 3 strikes and you're out. So if you take a guess and you get it wrong, you'll come back, ask you want to do it again or move to the next question. You might go, oh, let's try it again, and you get it wrong. It's like, oh, I think it's around here somewhere. And you get a third option, and you get it right, boom, moves you to the next question. So you get 3 stabs per task, and that's very handy. So let's just say, for example, see right here it says attempts remaining 3. So let's say task, create a new blank document. And by the way, you can slide these around, close them out. And so let's see, how do I create a new blank document? Well, I can go to File, and I can go to New, Blank Documents, and done, right? Moves to the next question. And start Word. Okay, well, I can come down here and click on this. And there we go. Some of these are pretty simple. So you get the idea. This is how the test is done. Change the document's margins to the narrow setting. Now, let's say I came up here to Design, Themes, boom. That answer was incorrect. Okay, let's retry the task. What did it want me to do? Set the margins to narrow. Okay. That would be under Layout, Margins, Narrow. There we are. So again, you have 3 attempts at the question. And once you get started, you cannot stop. It's not, if you do, that's pretty much, you said game over. So again, just go through the entire exam. You can skip questions and come back to them. You could skip questions and not go back to them, and that is fine as well. It will let you know that you have skipped those questions, and that the grade will probably be shown accordingly. So let's just say what I did 2 or 3. I'm going to go ahead and submit. It says you have not completed all of the tasks and exam. Do you want to submit? Yep. I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and then you can view your report. Unlike the one that downloads with the projects, it will launch it right here in the window, and it will tell you, give you your score. And I got a 6%. Okay, so And you can see all the tasks. It says it was correct. I skipped this one and I didn't present any of the others. So um, you can always go back and launch the training, but that's after the fact. Remember, but with the practice exam, again, you can take it up to, I believe, 50 times. The actual exam, again, as we said earlier, that's a one and done. So now you've seen how to work with a training, why that is really good. And again, it's not required, but highly recommended. The practice exam is not required, but highly recommended. Just going to make you that much more proficient that when you actually take the exam, you should feel very confident in it. And there we go. So back to, notice that all of these tabs have been open. That's good. Every time it launches in a new window, which is really nice. So back to the week 3. Let's just do a recap and then we'll close it down. Again, thank you for hanging with me this long, taking the tour. So week 3, the hands-on portion of the class, 3 sub-modules that you would drill down to each one of those. And then last but not least, the last module is where you find the training and the practice exam and the actual exam. Week 4, just to move forward a little bit, again, this would be the Excel project for that week. Again, each one of these has Dr. Jones doing the video with you, as well as any subsequent or supporting files that may be needed. Here's the training and exam for that particular week with Excel. Again, it has a complimentary training, a complimentary practice exam, and then the actual exam itself. That same week, week 4, if you notice there is a little sub-module here, training and exams for access. This is the one that is required. And it says so. Unlike other trainings, which do not count toward your grade and are considered optional, this training is required and does count toward your final grade. Please complete it. It's where the other ones might have had 50 tasks, this only has 25, like half of them. So watch the videos, do the apply, boom, easy 100 points, and you will get enough to know to be dangerous working with access. Last but not least, week 5 is a little bit more fun because to me, I love, I think PowerPoint is fun. There are 3 projects related to PowerPoint that go into a little bit more detail with, other than just slapping a picture down on a PowerPoint presentation. There are, again, the videos, the projects themselves. Ultimately, there is week 3, something a little bit different in week 3. Yes, you do have a project for week 3 that you will put in here. But then last but not least in week 3, more final project. This is interesting. I just noticed I need to update this from 2023. Anyway, the final project is for you to complete, pick a topic on any topic you want. I've had people do it from mailboxes, penguins, foxes, Harry Potter, Star Wars, Futurama, national parks, mental illness, whatever your passion may be, even if it's on yourself and your friends and family, is to do a 10-slide PowerPoint on any topic. And then this is where you come back to upload it when it's all said and done. This is one of my favorite projects. It's off book. It's not part of Cengage. This is one I created, and it allows me to, it entertains me. It gives me a lot of fun to, maybe because a lot of students do it on themselves, and get to learn more about the student above and beyond the 5 things about me in the discussion board that started this whole ball rolling. So it kind of comes full circle if you go that route. So this is your last project, and then of course there will be the last exam in PowerPoint. And that is all 5 weeks covered. 15 down to 5. So yep, a lot going on in those 5 weeks, but I'm telling you, blink and it will be over before you know it. So again, always reach out if you have questions. I hope you found the little tour handy, as well as showing you how to go through the process of following, creating the project, uploading it, looking at the grade, the error messages, going back and resubmitting, maybe for a better score. Again, hopefully that will all work out. Once you get on a roll with it, it'll all begin to fall into place. So with that said, I'm going to check out, and hopefully you found both of these videos, even though a little lengthy, that they helpful. Thanks again, and I look forward to seeing what you produce.